All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show at Levi's Stadium after the 49ers held practice, and we just had a chance to talk to Kyle Shanahan and a few of the key players from earlier today in practice. Some of the things, okay, first of all, the big story of the day, Kalia Davis. I mean, Kalia Davis just had the best game of his NFL career. He was fantastic. He was flying around. He was making sacks. He had a sack. He had a good run stuff. He was, back-to-back really good plays. The best game of his NFL career, and he hurts his knee and now needs surgery and is going to be done for half the season. And he's had knee problems before, so it's just such a kick to the gut. I mean, this is just such a bummer because this guy is so talented and so fast, and they need him badly. And he, it was the best and the worst all at once, right? The best in that he showed this guy can play. This guy can help this team. Shanahan made that point today to us. Hey, look, the downside, obviously, he's going to miss half the year. The upside is we think we got a player here, and they do. Kalia Davis, I've been talking about him for a couple of years. The guy is 6'2", 320 pounds, and can run. He was a linebacker, just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, hopefully, he can come back from this knee injury and make a contribution. I got to be honest, I'm a little skeptical just because he's battled knee pain before. But man, he looked great. Oh my God, Saturday night, he looked fantastic. And then today we find out he's going to miss half the year because of surgery that he's going to have on the knee. So bad break for the Niners, but they may have found themselves a really good pass rushing interior tackle. Also today, I guess, and they're saying that it's for as Kalia Davis' exact knee injury. They're saying he's having irritation behind the kneecap. So I'm not a doctor and I can't tell you what that means, but that's what they're saying. It's really sad because he just played the best game of his life, and then he's out for a significant amount of time. A couple other things from today. I asked Kyle Shanahan about Malik Mustapha, and the 49ers feel like they really got something in Mustapha. I mean, they got him in the fourth round. He's been fantastic in camp. He moves better than you think, and he's rocked up like a linebacker, and he hits like a truck, and he's instinctive, and he plays fast, and he's just a terrific player, really, really good player. So I asked Shanahan about him today, and he was very impressed by his fourth down stuff, where Shanahan challenged the play because it was originally called a first down on the field, as you guys remember, and then it was called a fourth down stop, turnover on downs. Huge play by Malik Mustapha. Congratulations to George Odom's wife. George Odom's wife had a baby, so congrats to George. George is one of my favorite 49ers to talk to. Great guy, just a phenomenal guy. Ambry Thomas is having surgery tomorrow on his broken forearm. He's probably going to wind up missing half the year as well, or at least a significant part of the year. That's a rough break for the Niners. Isaac Yiadom has an ankle injury, and Shanahan thinks that he's about a week away from returning to the field. So we won't see Yiadom out there for at least another week. Dominic Purdy had a really strong first performance. He started at right guard. We all saw him push J.P. Mason into the end zone for a touchdown. Purdy gave up 0 sacks and 0 pressures. So I think, Kyle was asked today with the injuries to Feliciano and the injuries along that offensive line to Burford and Feliciano, does it give Purdy a real shot? And Kyle's like, hey man, anytime you're running with the ones, you got a great shot to start. And that's what's going on right now. Purdy's running with the ones. He's playing well. Those guys are hurt. He's healthy. End of story. But he played really well Saturday night, and that was great to see. Kyle was asked about Brandon Aiyuk and what he's doing, and he said he doesn't know exactly what he's doing, but that Brandon knows what he needs to do to get his body in shape for the regular season. And that was pretty much it on Aiyuk. We had a chance to talk to Lenoir. Lenoir had the interception on the final play of practice, and Lenoir is just an awesome guy, man. He's an awesome guy to talk to. If there's one 49er that I'm just absolutely convinced is going to have a huge year, it's him. I mean, Demo Lenoir is going to be fantastic. I say I'll go out on a limb and say Pro Bowl. I think he's going to outprice the Niners' budget. He may be playing his final season with the 49ers. Maybe he'll show some loyalty. Maybe they'll be able to afford him. But he's playing great. Oh, my God. He had this beautiful interception on this deep ball that was just fantastic. I mean, Lenoir is playing amazing football. He just every day, better and better and better, makes more plays. He makes them close to the line of scrimmage. He makes plays down the field. He makes plays against the run. He makes plays on the balls in the air. I mean, he is the total package, man. He's going to have a huge year. Demo is going to have an absolutely monster year. Purdy spent most of this practice hitting George Kittle repeatedly with passes. I think he probably hit Kittle 7 times in this practice. The practice was a very light practice, by the way. No pads, very short practice. I believe only 20 or 22 plays total practice. Shanahan, the last practice they had the other day, they had 23 guys miss because of rest days and veteran days and injuries and nagging injuries. And it's funny, Jerry McDonald asked Kyle Shanahan a question today. He's like, in the past, how many of those guys would be playing? And he's like, yeah, exactly. And Kyle's like, exactly. In the past, a lot of these guys would have played in these training camp practices hurt. And he's like, times have improved and times have changed and practices have improved, and now they're smart about things and they get guys off the field when they're dinged up, and they don't just let their bodies just take a terrible amount of abuse. So the last practice, they had 23 guys who missed, and that's why they canceled the joint practices that were supposed to be held Thursday and Friday in Orange County with the Saints. But Kyle Shanahan had to call Dennis Allen and say, you know what, we're not going to make it because the Niners can't practice the way they want to practice, and they don't want to do the Saints wrong by bringing a group of backup players to practice against their ones. So they're going to practice here, and it's probably best for both teams. Robbie Chosen, the 31-year-old wide receiver, was officially signed to a contract today. He participated in practice. He's rail thin. He ran 4.34 in his 40 coming out of college. That was years ago. He's now been in the league 8 years. But he officially signed his contract today and was out there in a uniform and running around at practice. And we'll see what he's got left. I'm eager to see what he's got. I mean, once upon a time, Robbie Chosen, who used to be Robbie Anderson, could really run. I mean, you're talking about 4.3, legit 4.34 speed. And we'll see how much of he's got left. They cut Frank Darby. Darby actually had a nice catch in the game over the weekend, against Tennessee. But such is life in the NFL. You make a nice catch, but a better receiver comes down the pike, and Robbie Chosen signed, Frank Darby waived. There's a report out of Pittsburgh that says that the 49ers asked Omar Khan, that John Lynch asked Omar Khan, the Steelers GM, for a great player, either George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, or Minkah Fitzpatrick, in addition to a second or a third round pick for Brandon Aiyuk. New England supposedly offered Aiyuk $32 million. Pittsburgh, according to reports, has offered Aiyuk $28 million. The Niners, we think, offered Aiyuk somewhere around $26 million. But there you go. The 49ers asked Pittsburgh for one of either Pickens, Freiermuth, or Minkah Fitzpatrick, and a second or a third round pick. Now, why is this significant? Well, it gives us an idea of at least what the Niners want from Pittsburgh. And it's interesting. Freiermuth's a big receiving tight end who's got a lot of talent, but he's had injuries. I think it's interesting that they would have wanted him. Pickens is a talented receiver who can make plays down the field and has great skills, but he's not much of a blocker, tough guy, and it seems like he wouldn't fit the Niners' culture because they do like their receivers to be old-fashioned tough guys who block. Minkah Fitzpatrick is interesting from the standpoint he started his career with Miami, he got traded to the Steelers. He's an absolute dynamic free safety, and the Niners need a free safety, so it makes perfect sense that they would want Minkah Fitzpatrick. Of those three, I would say the Niners are probably most likely to get Freiermuth, because they do have some backup tight ends on the Steelers. I don't think they're going to move Pickens. I don't think they're going to move Fitzpatrick. So we'll see about that. But still no formal movement of any kind on the Aiyuk front. He continues to hold in. He goes to meetings. He doesn't perform on the field. Trent Williams continues to hold out, and I don't know where he is right now. A couple other notes. The Jaguars signed ex-49er safety Tayshaun Gibson, who is a former Jaguar, right? So he goes back to Jacksonville as well. I guess they're also saying that New England, another report that came out today, and it didn't tie the Niners to it, but the New England Patriots are getting trade offers for Matt Judon. And the only reason I mention that is that it says in the report at Pro Football Rumors that multiple teams are showing interest in a trade for Matthew Judon. I bring it up because, the 49ers have lost Drake Jackson. Robert Beal is very much a question mark. They're going to have 5 defensive ends on the roster. Gross Matos, Bosa, and Jordan Elliott, not Jordan Elliott, but Leonard Floyd will be their top 3 edge rushers, but they still need a 4th and a 5th, and Beal could be that 4th, but they really don't have a 5th right now. So would the Niners be one of the teams that may have submitted an offer to the Patriots for Matthew Judon? My guess is the answer to that is yes. Why? Because the 49ers value defensive end depth, need it, have cap room, and Judon's a guy that I think would fit their wide 9 scheme. So something to look for. Also, the 5 highest graded 49ers, according to Pro Football Focus, in the first preseason game: Brandon Allen, Jake Tongas, the Cal tight end. Who else? Jordan Mason, Chris Conley, and Tay Martin all had the top 5 grades from Pro Football Focus in that Titans game. The lowest grades went to Breida, Isaac Alarcon, who else? Lewis Kidd, the offensive tackle, Cam Latu, and Braden Willis. That's the interesting thing too, is that Braden Willis got destroyed as a blocker in this last game. So, it's interesting. It's like, Logan Thomas was cut. He was the veteran with the most experience outside of Kittle. So he's cut. And now Braden Willis just got destroyed as a blocker. Cam Latu has been very inconsistent. But Jake Tungus has played pretty well. And Eric Saubert, I think, is probably tight end 2 because of his blocking ability. He had a beautiful pancake block. So, if you said to me, break down the Niner tight end situation, I would say Kittle's your 1, Saubert is your 2. And even though I liked Braden Willis's receiving ability, and Latu's a great athlete, I still think I've seen more from Mason Pline, the rookie, than those guys. So if I had to say right now, I would say 1, 2, 3, Kittle, Saubert, Pline. So this is a very fluid situation, but that tight end room, the competition's fierce, it's intense, and it's wide open out behind George Kittle. We all know Kittle's going to have a roster spot. After Kittle, we don't really know. All right, that does it for your 49er update. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Check them out. They're in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in both spots from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Also, thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for being a proud sponsor of the Krug Show as well. They're located along the Monterey Peninsula in Pacific Grove. Call my good friend Anthony Catania if you have any sports cards or collectible needs. That's Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles along the Monterey Peninsula in Pacific Grove, California. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.